David Elzinga, a principal energy specialist at the Asian Development Bank, said that Indonesia's energy transition is very unique and challenging. He added that Indonesia is a very large country with significant differences in energy.
Energy transition in Indonesia is very unique and very challenging. It is different than a developed country, which is characterized by having significant financial resources and low economic growth, because that growth has happened in the past. Indonesia has very high growth economically, high growth in terms of their energy needs, and it is a very large country with significant differences in energy. High population in some areas, very distributed and dispersed population in other areas.
There are sites that Indonesia has pledged to phase out or at least drastically lower by agreeing to some 5 schemes with international stakeholders, including the largest signed $20 billion Just Energy Transition Partnership deal. With the new deal, Indonesia will aim to reach net zero emissions from the power sector by 2050. On another side, Elwika Hamdi, an Indonesia-based energy finance analyst at the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis, said that the financing remains an obstacle. Indonesia will need up to $2.4 trillion in cumulative investment across the energy system by 2050.
We still have a long way to go to find out how we could do this or how we could gather up the financing to do this, and it should not be just the responsibility of the Indonesian people, but also of from the more developed countries.
Meanwhile, Gita Anindawini, program director at the Indonesian Center for Environmental Law, said that what's important right now is how Indonesia can review all of this regulation towards renewable energy development.
Yes, we have some kind of pledge, political pledge to transitioning to the renewable energy, but I think what's being important right now is how we can review all of these regulations. What are the regulations that will be hamper the renewable development? Which regulation that will still give incentives to the coal, for example?
Geography presents another challenge for Indonesia. Indonesia is a large archipelago with significant differences in energy resources, distribution, and population centers. For example, the island of Java, the country's administrative center, accounts for around 60% of the country's population and some 75% of the electricity consumption, but only a small percent of renewable potential.